Welcome to Muffin News with your host, Muffin.
And welcome back to Muffin News, your source for all things CDC. In our top stories at the moment, we have Terrakion continuing to be the stinkiest division of them all. They cannot beat the stinky allegations whatsoever. Verizion was once again found guilty for murdering 3 different people from Cabalion. Cabalion is actually in mourning of those 3 people. And the love triangle of Genesect, Victini, and Karam continues to evolve as we see a secret love letter that's been written to Genesect from Karam as Victini keeps a close eye on the two. Anyway, let's break down this week of Keldeo Pickems. Let me hand over to your host, Muffin. Alright, hello, welcome to the Pickems for week 3. Yep, it is week 3 right now, so let's get into it. First, we have Phil, our undefeated champion, versus Odin. Now, we look at these teams, honestly, it's actually quite a good back and forth between the two teams. I think, honestly, they both have decent... Oh, I was going to say they both have decent removal. Technically, Odin does not have decent removal, so we could see some more hazard gameplay from the Gliscor, potentially. Unless a Cramorant and potentially, I think, Weezing. It's either this Weezing or the... I don't know if both Weezings have defog, but we might see some we might actually see one of the defoggers come just in case. In saying that, the Weezing does come. They Field does have to be careful of the toxic spikes going up because, look, they got good removal, but they don't like if they can't get rid of those T-spikes. Overall, Palkia Origin looks... Knowing what Palkia Origin can do, the moment Lunala loses its... Shadow Shield, depending on the typing of Hydrapple, it could very much just be the difference between winning and losing. I think Clefable is going to be a massive positive for Odin, so we might see some Golden Go or the Lucario coming because with Clefable around, it does kind of stop the three big threats being Palkia Origin, Weavile, and Golden Go from doing what they want to do. Well, to be fair, it's more the Palkia Weavile, Golden Go gets more ward by Registeel if it misses its Focus Blast, or potentially the Terra Hydrapple depending on the Terra. Overall, if I had to give my money to who could win, I probably want to go Field. I think Field has the more... I think Field has a better abundance of Pokemon to take out Odin's team. Because I'm looking at side by side. Like, look, you take an individual Pokemon, like Registeel loses to a lot more than what it can do. A lot more Pokemon to Field than what it can do itself, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. But yeah, my money will be on Field. Up next, we have Hellfire versus Brooks. Honestly, both of them lost their last week, so they're both in need of a redemption. If you haven't seen the game of Brooks versus me, I highly recommend it. It was absolute fire brain by me. Overall, I think... Honestly, Hellfire is going to have to be very careful. They've been using a very interesting Toxapex set, but I don't think it's not going to work against a team like this. Especially, look, they lock in Garganacl. Garganacl does not care being in against Toxapex. It will Soul Cure and sit in, set up for days. It's also a Terra Captain as well. Ting Lu can handle non-Terra Jolteon and non-Terra Hisuian Gudra. It also can fight the Dragapult, so we might see a Wisp Dragapult. In terms of the Ho-Oh, we have a Ho-Oh versus Lugia matchup. But realistically... don't even need Ho-Oh versus Lugia when you have Garganacl to take care of the Ho-Oh very easily. I think the big thing would be, as long as Hellfire can punish a lot of these threats, they will be fine. But the issue with that is Garganacl can heal, Lugia can heal, and they do have to be very, very careful of Zacian. Realistically, Zacian doesn't even have to be... Zacian doesn't even have to be like a Swords Dance set. It could be a Bandit set and just wait till the end game and then just lock itself into a single move and just ba-da-da-da. I don't think Lendo Scarf comes here either with an Levitate Mon, Flying Mon, and like everything in between. And honestly, it's gonna be another hazard stack. They do have the turtle to help with the removal, which is really good. Will Brooks bring their own hazards just in case? Has removal? I don't know. But overall, I think I'm gonna have to give it to Brooks. I think he might have the edge on this battle. Next is Kayla versus Pug. Honestly, what a matchup. I look at both these teams. I have no idea who is going to win. Magina looks really solid into this matchup, doing well against the Palkia, Grimmsnarl, and Ogerpon. And even, I don't know if Magina has anything to hit the Solgaleo with. as well. The only thing Kayla has to be careful of is like a store power set, but even then, Grimstyle walls it, as well as the Galeo can take a hit from it. On the flip side, I think Kayla probably has I think they have the better team in this matchup, with a lot of, like, Palkia threatens a lot of their other Pokemon really, really, really well. And with the screen support from Grimstyle and even, like, a bulky Arcanine to handle Masquerada, I really see this going more so in Kayla's favor than Pug's. Then we have Ditto versus Dwarf, which honestly, look, Ditto, regardless of what happens, I think Ditto's just gonna get lucky. Their match last week was absolutely atrocious. It was probably I actually hope Ditto loses just so the universe can go back to being the same. That's all I can say. But in terms of, like, breaking down the team, I do think Ditto has the better matchup. I mean, there is a Champ Power, but I guess you could always there is the Heatran, there is the Terra Articuno potentially, there is a very bulky Alamola to try and help with those. Obviously, once a Champ Power gets +2, and if Zamazenta has already used its defense boost, Champ Power can easily just sweep through this team. I think what we'll see here is either Draw is once again misplays using Pow, or Ditto will bring a very much bulkier team to try and offset that. In terms of, like, I mean, Rayquaza is still there as well to do massive damage. I think we could see another Articuno win, so I think the Articuno's just gotta be very careful with the Articuno. But I'm gonna give it to Ditto. In terms of Vega versus me, I think they both gonna lose, but all I can say is be ready for this match. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Finally, we have Prince versus Temple. Honestly, Prince winning last week was an absolute surprise, and now they're fighting Sun. And honestly, I don't think they have a bad Sun matchup. They have a Fire that can change weather thanks to Prankster. They have Dondozo Terra that actually can wall most of what Temple's team wants to do in terms of setup. They also have a Skeledirge as well to further handle it. I think the only thing you have to kind of prep around is the Fluttermane. And I'm trying to figure... But in saying that, you have a Chansey right there to help with the Fluttermane. Because what does Fluttermane do to Chansey? Absolutely nothing. I mean, you have to switch out. Yeah, I think, funnily enough, I think Prince can definitely win this. With the Karen Black Scale Shot threatening a lot, especially with Icicle Sphere on the Tusk and things like that. I think Prince, I'm going to give it to Prince. And that is Pickems for this week. I'll hand it back over to Muffin. Wow, thanks, Muffin, for that interesting Pickems. And now, before we get to the final segment, let me know what your thoughts on the matchups and who you think will win. On that, I will now hand it over to Chewy for the weather. Bye-bye. Chewy, what would be the weather for this week of the Draft League? What is this week's weather? What is this week's weather, mister? Don't be camera shy. There we go. He predicts the weather to be very stormy with a lot of high predictions. Thank you, Chewy. Good day.